It was just a matter of time before Harry and Meghan Markle, excuse me, Meghan Markle came up with something. We knew that that was it. And of course, they come up with a statement from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, from the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Do they not realize how tone deaf that is? First of all, it's been proven that they don't have an office. The French documentary exposed them. There are no offices. It couldn't be from Archwell Foundation. No, it had to be from the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex because they have to remind everybody that they're still royal and as though they matter. You don't even see this from very president office or, you only see it from statements office. They're not statements people at all. It couldn't be from the Archwell Foundation on behalf of the Archwell Foundation. So, no, it has to be both of them. And the statement that they made, it is at this point, guys, it's farcical. At this point, it's farcical because there are several demands made, believe it or not, behind the scenes, all the drama of this statement that was made that Meghan immediately sent to Victoria Ward. She sent it to Victoria Ward. And so listen, here's on the Telegraph, because before whenever they used to put out the statement, it used to be all over the place. Now they have to contact certain reporters to alert them that they put out a statement on the Telegraph about how they're helping people, how they're donating clothes. This is such a ghoulish thing, another way to exploit, another way to inject themselves in something that is absolutely insane. Why couldn't Meghan put it on her Instagram like everybody else? Meghan, why couldn't she do it? Meghan, oh my God, my heart. You know how personal she made that fake eulogy for the dog? She could have put out something like, oh my God, I'm very worried that my hometown in LA is burning down. This is really, sad news. The firefighters have a battle. Thank you, firefighters. No, it had to come from the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And very shortly, I'm going to show you something that's very, very goodish because this statement has a whiff of another tragedy that occurred where Meghan Markle jumped on a plane and like a ghoul took like 8 or 9 reporters not reporters, camera crew in. The thing is that Netflix had the better sense not to include that because even they could see how outrageous, how degenerate, how exploitative that was. And I think you guys know what I'm talking about, right? If that makes you uncomfortable to watch, it's because it is absolutely appalling that within 70, not even, she didn't even wait 72 hours. I think that within 24 hours, she was up in the air with, let's count it here, the ones that we can see, because behind her, there are some other camera crews that she took. So let's count how many she has there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that we can see there. There were about 13, 14 people that she took to Uvalde. And, it's incredible that after she saw that people were getting angry and they were getting ready to kick her out, she left, with that assistant that no longer works for her. And, she was comforting Meghan Markle because, of course, Meghan Markle is the one that's always put on, the one that's always in pain. Never mind the parents whose children were murdered. No, it was Rachel Meghan Markle who felt the most tears, who cried the most tears. That was repulsive by any standard, and even Netflix can see that. It is unbelievable that she watched that. And who could forget this as a little stunt? Yeah, remember with COVID? How the Duke and Duchess, Meghan and Harry, because they always put Meghan's names first, of course, deliver meals. And the source was, of course, TMZ. TMZ is the source. This was they only filmed one place. This was already pre-arranged. So people could see how 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 they were exposing themselves to danger delivering food to the people during COVID times. You can even see Harry with his hands in his pocket, like probably embarrassed and glad and happy that he's wearing a mask and and a hat. So nobody really has to see how low he has fallen to do this. Yes, of course, and it is in West Hollywood. They didn't slum it in, in Compton or anything like that. No, 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 no. God forbid Megan goes near Compton. Let's not forget that she's allergic to Compton. No, West Hollywood, for those who don't know in the United Kingdom, it's like Richmond in the UK or, Hampstead Heath. It is incredibly affluent area of Los Angeles. So they wanted to be captured doing that. So let's read the statement that they wanted to put out, or they actually put out. Prince Harry and Meghan opened their doors to friends forced to flee California wildfires. The couple urged those unaffected by disaster to rally around those who have lost their homes. The Duke and Duchess opened the doors to their $29 million Montecito mansion to friends and loved ones displaced by wildfires. I'm just gonna take a step here. No mention of family, no family members are allowed. Now, who are these friends and loved ones who have been affected by the wildfires? All of their friends are filthy rich. They're richer than they are. They're wealthier than they are. Harry and Meghan are considered the poor folk of Montecito. So they're willing to open the mansion to their friends and loved ones who have been displaced by wildfires. Let me tell you, Paris Hilton already has like 4 or 5 mansions. Oprah has like 8 mansions. I mean, all the people around them, their neighbors, are wealthier than they are. So they can get on their private helicopter and just go anywhere they want. But if you thought that they were opening the doors to the poor folk from anywhere, like, the homeless or the people from Compton, the people from Compton, come to our homes. You can pitch a tent in one of our sprawling things, a sprawling state. No. The couple released a statement on Thursday appealing to those who have emerged unscathed to rally around the victims of the devastation. Their home is located about 90 miles north of the Los Angeles area in the Santa Barbara enclave, which has not been evacuated yet. Their power could be shut off as fires continue to burn across the city. As fires continue to burn across the city. If a friend, loved one, or pet has to evacuate and you're able to offer them a safe haven in your home, please do. And be sure to check in with any disabled or elderly neighbors to see if they need help evacuating. They wrote in a statement posted to their Sussex.com website. So, does that mean anybody can come? Of course not. Only their friends and loved ones. And I ask, who are they? Because they have fought with everybody. Some families and people have been left with nothing. Please consider donating clothing, children's toys, and clothing, and other essentials. The American Red Cross is on the ground helping those in need. Why isn't Archwell on the ground helping those in need? The Duke and Duchess have contributed clothing, children's items, and other essential supplies to those affected by the fires. Who? Their wealthy neighbors? The Telegraph understands, which means it can't be verified. The couple are working with staff from their Archwell Foundation to identify the most effective ways to support the community, and donations have been made to the relief effort through the foundation. What donations? Why don't they say Archwell donated $2 million to a fund, for people who are homeless? Why don't they show the check, and hopefully it won't bounce, that Archwell has donated money to to people? What are those donations they keep talking about? What are those donations? I'd like to know, don't you? I mean, I really would like to know, because everything is always vague, vaguely worded. So to identify the most effective ways? What do you mean? You still don't know? People lost their homes. They will need money to get that. And it is my take that they're using this to get to request even more money, which of course money that will never be delivered to any of these people. Okay. They have also been in contact with Chef Jose Andres and are working alongside his World Central Kitchen organization, which supplies meals to communities in the wake of natural disasters. Why aren't they more specific? How exactly are you helping? We have handed over $1 million to the World Central Kitchen organization to help them buy food for them to deliver meals to people who need it. No, they have to say that they have also been in contact. So what? Hello? Is this the World Central Kitchen organization? Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you. That's me being in contact with the World Central Kitchen organization. I am just being facetious, clearly. In the near future, and this is the part that is really interesting for you guys. In the near future, as the recovery effort begins, the Archwell team plans to seek opportunities to volunteer where needed, and specifically will look to support mental health recovery. We're looking at Better Up. Harry's planning to give these people discounts. I just want to make something very clear. Harry is a coach for Better Up. Harry is an idiot. Okay. He is the British evil Forrest Gump. I don't even understand how this entitled, arrogant, incredibly narcissistic man is a life coach for anybody. Serena Williams came actually and said that that Harry saved her life. Most people that are Better Up are not qualified or licensed to provide any mental health assistance. They're not licensed therapists by any means or stretch of an imagination. In the near future, is that 2035? As the recovery effort begins, people need help now. People's house have burnt down now. People don't have any food. Everything they have is gone. Everything they have is gone. They need something now. They need food. They need, tents, pitch a tent, help some money in their bank account because a lot of people maybe don't even have their homes insured. Maybe pitch a tent, buy tents, deliver tents, give money. This moment in time, you give money to people because that's what they need. They need to move somewhere else. They don't have that money. They're real poor people, not their rich friends that they're welcoming, because Meghan Markle, of course, is expecting Julia Roberts or Oprah Winfrey or Kevin Costner even maybe to hop into their place and take refuge there because they only offer the refuge to the elites. With at least 30,000 acres of Southern California light, Billy Crystal, Jamie Lee Curtis, Anthony Hopkins, John Goodman, and Paris Hilton have emerged as the latest Hollywood stars whose homes have been impacted by the catastrophe. Do any of these people seem they need help from Meghan Markle? Do Ben Affleck? Reese Witherspoon, a billionaire? Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson? Some 130,000 Angelanos have been forced to evacuate by the wildfires, with the death toll doubling late on Thursday to at least 10 people. Why isn't she offering people from Compton to come over to her place? We'll pitch a tent here. We'll buy you tents. We will feed you while you're here. I am sure she can easily accommodate 2,000 people. But no, they're going to use this tragedy, my very humble opinion, to get more money because of course it's in the near future and they're talking about opportunities with their no, 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 no. That's not how it works. That's the way they're injecting themselves in the narrative to say something and be aligned. Oh, Meghan and Harry said something. No, 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 no. Sorry. It's the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It's the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. All these mansions that are burning down, why don't they show poor people's homes burning down? Hmm? Why don't they show poor people burning down? No. Jamie Lee Curtis. That's, I think, is that her mansion? Oh no, this is the church in the Palisade that had a beautiful Sunday school and was gorgeous house of worship. It's gone. I mean, look at this, guys. Jeff Bridges was another victim with his mother. He is a victim, but these people are multimillionaires. Their homes are insured. They're going to get twice the money. But the poor people are not insured. They're not insured at all. But Harry and Meghan want you to know that in the near future, they're discussing opportunities with their Archwell Foundation to see how they can help, but with mental health only, because of course Harry has better up and they need the cash. They're already writing to people asking them for money. Oh, they're wealthy donors. We're going to do this, we're going to do that in the near future, but of course we're going to need more cash. Today they'd have about $8 million in their bank account for Archwell Foundation. We know that because of the IRS tax thing that they filed, which is still not up, by the way, at the IRS. Write a check. Here's $2 million to the World Central Kitchen. Here is the money. $2 million. But we have seen firsthand how Harry and Meghan Markle do help the poor, especially Harry. I mean, Harry has a very bad track record. For those of you who are hoping and expecting Harry to come through with his pledge, living on 82p, that's about $1 a day. The girl who inspired Prince Harry's charity Sente Vale, which means forget me not, which are Princess Diana's favorite flowers. It was the moment that inspired Prince Harry to follow in his mother's footsteps and help Africa's forgotten aid victims. Cradling the 10-month-old Kiki in his arms, the 19-year-old prince appeared close to tears as he was told of the dreadful ordeal she had suffered. The baby had been marred and tortured by her stepfather, who believed a witch doctor myth that sex with a virgin, however young. Kiki was 10 months old when their stepfather did that, and if it were up to me, he would have been killed on the spot. Would cure him of HIV. In a TV documentary filmed during Harry's first encounter with the little girl 5 years ago, he despaired of her plight. I held her in my arms, he said. She couldn't move. She had no expression, no laughing, no crying, nothing at all. It almost seemed as though she knew what happened. Let me tell you that at this point in time, when Harry got this picture taken, his reputation was in the toilet. This was around after he was pictured with the Nazi uniform. Okay. At the time, the prince was more renowned for his nightclub antics, but galvanized by Kiki's ordeal, he decided to set up a charity. So keep in mind that in honor of Kiki, he set up the charity to help the children of Lesotho, one of the poorest kingdoms in Africa. He named it Sentebale, meaning forget me not, in memory of Princess Diana. He also vowed to support Kiki in her growing up, her education, and everything. Keep in mind that they knew that Kiki had a family, right? That she had a grandmother, she had a family, she had everything. I'm just saying this because it's repulsive what they did to Kiki, okay? They kept her in like an orphanage in spite of the fact that she had family. So then they say 3 years ago, she was handed back to her family by the unit for abused children that had nursed her back to health. It was hoped she would have a better life with them than in an institution. Kiki was taken to live with her grandmother because, of course, she has family deep in the Lesotho Mountains, a treacherous 11-hour journey away from the capital, Missouri, by bus and on foot. Now she's being raised there with three of her siblings on her grandmother's pension and 82, like $1 a day. Her 72-year-old mother claims that promises by Centevale staff to provide food and supplies have not been kept and laments that there is not enough money for even basic essentials, such as a bar soap. That means Kiki has to go to school dirty, which is not good, she said. At school, Kiki, who is now 6, is so hungry that she struggled to concentrate in class. Harry, now 25, this is back in 25, and by the way, he's still not seeing Kiki, is disturbed by her pitiful existence. Last night, a source close to the prince said, "It's a very frustrating situation. Kiki is not an orphan, and therefore it is not for her family to decide where she should. It is for her family to decide where she should live." Yes, but they knew that when they were helping her, and they had promised to help her and her family. So now they're using the excuse that because Kiki's not an orphan, they're not going to help her. Sente Vale is a charity and can't just storm in there and whisk her away from them. Nobody was asking them to do that. Kiki has in part become a victim of a row between Sente Vale, which has in the past been accused of giving good causes only a fraction of the money it raises, and the Lesoto's Children Counseling Unit, which had been taking care of the girl. So the Lesotho Children's Counseling Unit was taking care of Kiki, and they were getting some amount of money, but they were not taking care of Kiki. And they gave her back to the grandmother, and therefore no help. So you're telling me that they couldn't help. Sante Vale has withdrawn thousands of pounds of funding from the center over concerns about the way its cash is being spent and allegations of mismanagement. The mud and thatch hut in which Kiki lives is typical of the extreme poverty that many face in Lesotho, a country with one of the world's worst rates of HIV/AIDS infection. Life in the village is a daily struggle for survival. Kiki's situation is all the more precarious because her grandmother is in such poor health that she barely moves from her hut and is reliant on neighbors for basic needs. Some days, however, there simply isn't enough food to give. We often go hungry because my neighbors cannot support me all the time, she explained. I feel so helpless and don't know what to do. Kiki's teacher, Matsepo, said she's a keen learner, but sometimes we see problem with hunger, and that's affecting her concentration and participation in class. The youngster's mother, who works in a factory in the capital, does send small amounts of money to her family when possible. She appealed to Harry for help. When he came into my daughter's life, I was sure that Prince Harry would support her, she said. I need him to help us now. A Sente Valley spokesman, once they were exposed, said they had no legal right to question the decision to send. Nobody, this is how they twisted around, because nobody was questioning the fact that Kiki was sent back to her grandmother. And this is not what the point was about. It was about whether they would continue helping her, which they could very well do by providing food and clothes and the medication that she needs. Okay? So that's who Harry and Meghan are. You know what happened after this interview with Kiki? Santebale, who now is like 7 blocks down the road from where they live, came up and gave her about 30 pounds. They're still not helping her with the HIV medication. She was not invited to Harry and Meghan's wedding, but they did invite a 4-year-old from Santebale. So why are they now injecting themselves into this? Exploiting it. In the near future, we're going to explore possibilities. We're in contact with the world's central kitchen. It is the most disgusting way to keep exploiting. And please let me know if you've had enough of these two idiots, because they just don't know when to shut up, especially Meghan Markle, because she's the spokesperson, of course, for Archewell, for the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Please tell me what you think, beautiful people.